Hello and welcome, JRPG enthusiasts the world over. It is time for yet another podcast all about your favorite genre and our lifelong love, JRPGs. My name is James Fisher. This is the JRPG Report, episode 49. We're about in the middle of January here, and it's not been too long since our last podcast, and I won't be able to do one next week as me and the wife have a little out-of-town trip planned, just the two of us. The in-laws are watching the kiddos, so some much-needed adult time away from from family and friends just to relax a little bit. And I think I mentioned this before that we were going to go see the Distant Worlds concert in Nashville. It's just a few days away, and I'm super excited about that. But I wanted to do a podcast today because we have breaking news. And I guess that would cue the news. Breaking news sound. Thanks to my buddy Chris, who sent me a Facebook message just a few hours ago informing me of this. And it's not even on the RP Gamer website yet, but it is over on Gamatsu. And that is finally, after all this time of waiting and waiting, we have news. Falcom is bringing The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 3 to the West this fall. I think they were going to have a big announcement type thing at PAX South, which is going on right now. If you're listening to this on the 17th, I believe on the 18th, around noon Eastern time, they're going to have a Twitch feed and talk about a little bit about it. But still no actual release date. They were just pinning this down to the fall. But it is coming. We were worried it might never happen. Of course, the remasters of Trails 1 and 2 certainly seemed to indicate that it was coming, and like no other series perhaps before it, you've got to play these in order. So it was all setting up for this day. It will feature Japanese and audio in English, as well as English and French text subtitles. Now, they're also detailing of course, in addition to the standard edition, for about $40 more, you can get the quote-unquote Thor's Academy Edition. You get a copy of the game. You get an Intelligence Division Files hardbook art cover, the Symphony of Class 7 soundtrack, the Inhale Keep Collector's Box, Steelbook, 5 postcards, and the Mishi plushie. This is available for pre-order over at the NIS America online store. And so that's the other detail that's come out, is NIS America will be doing the publishing for this one. If you recall, back the first two games were handled by Xseed Games. So I think maybe that might have had something to do with it. The delay as well, coming over to a new publisher, that takes some time. So they will be handling all those duties. I won't read the entire thing to you, but just to give you the brief synopsis of it, is a year and a half since the Erebonian Civil War started. Much has changed. Reen is now, of course, he graduated from Thor's, and he's now an instructor at the Thor's Branch campus, which is a new academy. And he takes the lead of a brand new Class 7. There's been some new characters introduced, and he will be kind of leading them into battle. It promises cameos, and old members of Class 7 will be worked in and out. I really hope to get all of those characters back in addition to the new ones. This game has been built from the ground up for the PS4, and it looks like it. It looks incredible. So here are the key new features. Welcome to the new Class 7. You can explore the newly annexed lands of the Empire with a brand new squad and then catch up with familiar faces from the past. There's immersive story experience, an epic story developed across 3 titles, crafted for new and old fans alike. Now, this does include an interactive introduction to catch up new players to the ongoing story, so that anyone can dive into the world of Trails of Cold Steel. That may be true, but you still need to play the first 2. You would be doing yourself a disservice not playing the first 2 before playing this one. And there are some new combat features, the addition of the Brave Order and the break system to open up new possibilities of battle. So that got my day off to a happy start. As if I wasn't happy enough, in Tales of Vesperia Land, we get this news. We got Kingdom Hearts in less than 2 weeks. It's a great time to be a JRPG player, and I hope you guys are having as much fun as I am in our favorite genre. We'll talk more about Tales here in just a few minutes. I want to get to some other news that came out over the past couple days. We mentioned Kingdom Hearts 3 there a second ago, so there are some... they've already kind of outlined their plans for the post-launch. We see this with the bigger titles. We saw it with FS15 and various other things, Dragon Quest 11. So the day it comes out, there will be a small update which fixtures several data files and adds the memory archive option, which is a digest of the series so far to the game's time. I'll be honest, I may actually dive into that very first thing. The story of Kingdom Hearts is as convoluted and as crazy as I'll get out. It's been a while since I played 1 and 2. I've got the remasters. I've not actually played back through them again. So just to get things all in order, it may not be a bad idea to revisit that. The following day, on January 30th, you get the addition of the epilogue video, which will be... This is hilarious to me. This is viewable to those who have completed the game and seen the ending. If you beat the game in one day... I mean, I don't even think that's physically possible. I know, there's already been copies of it floating around. People who review it sometimes get the game early. Piracy does happen, so it just seems odd that it's coming out the day after it officially releases. The next day, on the 31st, you get the addition of a secret video, which will be viewable to those who have completed the game, seen the ending, and completed other unspecified criteria. So yeah, less than 2 weeks away, January 29th, Kingdom Hearts 3 finally gets here, and that's what's going on with that. We did get some new characters come out for actually the Luna. I guess that's how I'm going to say it. I'm not sure. LUA, the latest in the Arlen sub-series. And so you guys can kind of, it's kind of hard for me to describe characters and how they look, but this game is really looking nice. It's got that really, I don't know, classic JRPG look to it. I'm not sure how to exactly pronounce it, but really polished up and clean looking, and still having that out there look to it. But you can tell it's actually made for modern hardware. That the particle effects and battle animations really look nice. I'm impressed with it so far. All the pictures seem to really point to this one being a pretty decent game. So I'm having gone in and out of the Mysterious sub-series and not loving it so much, but really liking the Arlen sub-series. This may be one to get me kind of back into it overall. Set to come out in Japan March 20th. North America will get it in Europe later in spring. 2019 will come out PS4, Switch, and PC. We finally got release dates for the Switch and Xbox One versions of Final Fantasy X/10-2 and 12. They will come out worldwide in April. Let's see here. First will be 10-10-2, which will be released on April the 16th. And 2 weeks later, on the 30th, you will get Final Fantasy XII, the Zodiac Age. These are the definitive versions of the game, and for the first time available on Nintendo excuse me, and Xbox hardwares. Very cool stuff. If you have not checked these games out, this was back when Final Fantasy was still doing things right. Some would argue 10 was the last true Final Fantasy game to come out. I would stick with 12 because I love that game, but I see where, with 10, that was the end of the true turn-based battle system. 10-2 was much more action-oriented. Still technically turn-based, but if you weren't pretty quick with it, you were dead. You could play 12 as an offline MMORPG, and I truly love that game. It was nice, but yeah, you gotta go back to 10 to get that true experience. I always wondered what 10 would have played like if they still would have had the active time battle system. Maybe would have made it a little bit quicker, because just standing there forever on end with nothing going on was a little weird. I loved it still, but yeah, if you guys have not played these, what a perfect series to get for the Switch, right? To be able to play on the go anytime you wanted to. It's probably going to look fantastic on the little screen with these being PS2 games in HD. So finally getting a firm list on those. 10, 10-2 on April 16th, and then 12 following on April the 30th. The last news type of game I want to talk about, and to be fair, I don't remember if I've talked about this game before, and mostly because it's a mobile game, and mobile games, you guys probably share this sentiment. There's a few good ones here and there. They are mostly, clickbaity, trying to get some quick cash. They all kind of play the same with that weird system. You may love it at first, and of course, if it was free, it didn't cost you anything, so you're really not losing anything. But they kind of wane out because there's usually no story to it. The graphics may grab you at first, but it only keeps you for so long. This one looks to be a little different, and I think that's why I'm talking about it. I've actually pre-registered for it as well, and that is another Eden with the ridiculous subtitle of The Cat Beyond Time and Space. Maybe that's why I didn't take it seriously at first either. I think, seriously, is this a game about a cat? It has a firm release date of January 28th. And, of course, the first thing that comes to my mind is, really? Guys? I know mobile and consoles are technically two different markets, and they don't cross over, but everybody's going to, they may download this thing on the 28th, but the next day they're going to be in Kingdom Hearts 3 land. Let's be fair. So you can actually pre-order this as well from the iOS. I believe it's on Android as well, store. And it's free, completely free. This game looks really, really nice. I encourage you to check out the video and check out the artwork, and I'll tell you a little bit more why I'm so excited with it. I'll just say this. I did pre-register because if pre-registration passes 150,000 players, everyone will receive the Princess Prayer Fragment, and that will get you a 4-star character named Mayu, M-I-Y-U. That's always a pretty cool bonus. As you know, most of these games you have your main characters, and you can recruit additional characters with crystals or jewels or whatever you want to name it. Usually it's 3, 4, and 5 stars. So to be able to get a free 4-star character is going to help your battle out pretty quickly from the get-go. And, it's just something they're throwing in there for free. So if you're interested in this one, go ahead and do that. You've got time to. It doesn't hurt you none. You can always erase it later if you don't like it. I think you're going to like it, though. And I say that because this is a free-to-play, turn-based JRPG It's being developed by Wright Flyer Studios. It's pretty cool. They got an old model of the old Wright Brothers plane as their logo. Guys, the development team has Chrono Trigger director Masato Kato. Its opening theme is by Chrono Trigger musician, and I'm going to butcher his name, I'm sure, Yashinori Masuda. It sounds just like Chrono Trigger, but obviously a little different, and that is a totally good thing. Diving into this game a little bit more, and I didn't know this until I saw another article on it. I was looking at some of the battle screens and watching it in the movie. I was like, man, that looks like Frog. That looks like Cyrus from Chrono Trigger. And it is. They're not changing the name. They're not playing around. The character is named Cyrus, a mysterious swordsman who looks like a frog. He lives a hermetic life to hide his cursed form. Little is known about his origin. He hails from a country to the east. That's his character bio. Guys, this is an unofficial time-traveling unofficial sequel to Chrono Trigger in many regards. You've got one of the main characters in the game. The story talks about time travel. Here we go. Here's the prologue. It all started the day she disappeared right before my eyes. Then suddenly the city was reduced to ruins in the blink of an eye. That's when I swore an oath. Once again, I'm setting out on a journey beyond time and space to save our lost future before the darkness of time falls upon us all. I am super excited about this game just from a story aspect. You look at the artwork for this game, and it's a beautiful game. It's kind of got those 3D art style to it, a real soft palette. There's a additional interview with the art developers who are like, yeah, we really wanted to try to meet the expectations of director Kato. And they were like, we grew up with these games as a child, as children, and we want to invoke those same feelings and emotions in children today and young ones. So, guys, give this one a chance, and I think we're all going to be very happy. I mean, we've all got time, but we can't sit there on the PS4, but we can sit there on our phone or your tablet, Really, really excited, and it's one of those things like you don't expect to be excited about something, and then it just falls into your lap, kind of. And very, very, very cool stuff. We'll see how the actual follow through is, but it's a free mobile game, so whatever expectations you have, it's free. And you're getting, at least on the surface, looks like a great game. Speaking of great games, I hope you guys got, automatically delivered to you. If you did, you will want to go and check out. I did a special interview with You Will, the CEO and creator of The Grand Legacy. It's a completely separate podcast. There wasn't anything else to it. It was just the interview. I think it was just shy of about 15 minutes. We connected via Discord, and there were some technical issues as he is quite far away. There was a 12-hour time difference. It was 11 o'clock his time and 11 o'clock at night my time. So we definitely it got me a cup of coffee to try to stay awake and do a good interview. But their internet maybe not quite as strong over there as it is over here, but I think it came out pretty well, and was really honored to be able to talk to somebody and give a little insight into the upcoming Switch title. But yeah, if you didn't get a chance to, check that out. Won't take much of your time, and you can learn a little bit about the new The Grand Legacy game coming out for the Switch here next a little over a week from now. And then, of course, coming to PS4 and Xbox One, I think he nailed down it in April. But that was about as close as they could get to it. So, let's talk about Tales of Vesperia. And hope you guys are either enjoying it as well, or it's on your radar to play whenever you get a chance to. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I am absolutely loving the game. I kind of figured that I would. Having received universal praise from so many people. A lot of people rank it as their top Tales game of all time. As a super fan of the series anyway, I knew it would be right up my alley, and it has been just completely. They did an excellent job with the remaster. And the best thing I think about games from that era and kind of the way they were drawn in the first place, they clean up real nice. I think they did a great job with Final Fantasy XII Zodiac Age, that game's remaster looks great, but a game like Tales of Vesperia's remastered and cleaned up looks better, because that art style is a little more timeless. I swear, it looks like you're watching an anime in the cutscenes. I mean, obviously there's words for you to read and that it's all voice acted, but it looks so good. It's so pretty. It's that classic Tales battle system, storytelling, characters, world trotting. I was a little worried at first that it was going to be like Symphonia with the different size blobs of enemies running at you on the overworld screen, but no, they were the representing at least one of the enemies that you would fight in that particular battle. They're aggressive. If they see you, you're probably not going to be able to run away from them, both in the dungeons and in the overworld, until you get a certain item that makes you run much faster, and then you can do that. But I guess I'm about 15 hours or so, maybe a touch more into it. I really don't have much negative to say. I did hear one in particular, and I didn't realize this at the time, that Troy Baker had not reprised his role, but there were some additional cutscenes and such added to the game, and it, apparently the differences, and I'll probably, knowing this, I'll probably try to listen for it and see how different the voices are. I'm sure that can be a little off-putting if you'd played it before, especially. Having never played it before, I didn't really pick up on that at the first. There are a couple instances where there's still voice, but their lips have stopped moving. I didn't notice that a time or two. That could have been there the whole time. That's one of those things, and it's not going to make or break the game at all. One thing I noticed almost immediately is there is a quite noticeable difficulty spike from your average battles that you'll be doing with enemies in the same area to the boss. Sometimes in JRPGs, you're cruising right along and you think that you're adequately leveled, and then you face a boss, and it's a challenge, but nothing that you can't handle. I think it was the very first boss was a challenge for me. I think I was maybe slightly underleveled. The second one was more than a challenge, to the point of using up most of your life bottles, most of your gels, just to make it through it. To the third boss, I think, I actually lost at least twice to it before knowing that I needed to, there's obvious like anything else, when that happens, it's usually a pretty good sign that you need to just take 20 or 30 minutes and level up a little bit on everybody. And that was all it took. It was still a very, very good challenge, but I was able to overcome. And that was a battle where there was actually environmental things that you had to kind of play into that could give you an edge in battle. I won't ruin too much of it, but it's one of the things like, yeah, if you just did things a little bit smarter and we're at a better level, it wasn't that bad. But I mean, I love a good challenge. Don't get me wrong. That's why we play these games, and I'm still getting the entire battle system down. Of you take your swings, then you block, and you wait for an opportune time, and positioning, and you gotta set up your AI pretty well. It's hard to get them exactly doing what I want them to do, but I've got it kind of close, and I've got a couple different formation strategies that I can adjust with and make them do more of what I want them to. You never want your healer or your mage like running into the middle of a battle and start melee attacking, unless they're completely out of TP. But that can happen from time to time. And actually, at one point, I got to you get the embarrassment of riches, right? Of course, with this title, eventually you do get both Flynn and Patty as permanent members to your party. But it was one point when Flynn joined us, and you'd just gotten Judith as well, and I think there was 8 people to choose from. And outside of what's the dog's name? Everybody's gonna be yelling at me, the people that know. I don't like using him. He's a bit underpowered at the point, but like could easily have put any of the other 7 into my rotation and not really missed a beat whatsoever. But hey, it's better than the other way around, like, sacrificing and not having the best party. But so far so good. I really don't have any qualms with it whatsoever. I'm playing it on the Switch, so it's really cool to see. It's almost like playing 2 different games when you play it on the go and you play it on your screen. They look remarkably different. Of course, the resolution is going from 720 to 1080. There are some differences to be expected, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. If you haven't got it, if you're waiting on the fence, go grab it. It's one of those games that's probably not going to drop too much in price. You may see some sort of sale on the store that may pop up here, in 6 months or nothing. But by and large, you're probably going to end up paying at least $30 or $40 for this, even down the road. So if you're thinking about it, go out there and support them, because that's a thing that I really think more than anything. When we get these remasters of games that we actually want remasters for, let's make sure we're clear on that. We need to support them, and we need to buy these games, because the only thing these developers are looking at is sales numbers to say, okay, there's obviously people who like this game. What's something else we can remaster? And I'm not talking about remake and change and make awful. Just take the old game, make it pretty, add all the DLCs and post-content stuff to it, and make it affordable. That's all I got to say about that. So, guys, let me know your thoughts about it. Get over to the Facebook page, JRPG Report. Join our growing community over there of like-minded nutcases who just love our JRPGs. You will be among friends, trust me. Download the Anchor app and leave me a voicemail. I would love to hear your voicemail questions, and they will be put on the show. I don't have any yet. Nobody's done that for me. I'd love to answer a question. or at least try to get your name heard out there. And don't forget to leave me a review on your favorite listening platform as well. That always helps out the show, and it helps bring new listeners into the fray and grows the community, which is always a good thing. I'm going to sign off for now and get back to the world. Hope you guys are having a great JRPG day, and until we meet again, get back out there and level up.